right, there we go. Hopefully now we can finally get the sights and sounds here. I'm not sure what was going on. We thought we're live. We're having conversations where we're talking to Jim Herrick before the race. We'll bring him in here again after the race and then kind of do the whole spiel again. But now that you're finally joining us here for the coverage here at Imola, it is very foggy. It looked like there was a chance of rain for quite some time, but the rain appears to be holding off. Clouds, not so much. It is very foggy out there, at least for us. Not so much for the drivers down there, a little bit lower in the cockpits there. But good sized field out here as usual for CSRL. 23 cars in the field. Craig Jansik leading the way. Nobody having any kind of issues that we've noticed so far, so you haven't really missed anything. Jansik leads the way in the pro class. Torville, then Morera, Devin Young, and Billy Wright for the top 5, and then your leader here in the AM class. Foggy or not, you can still see that mirror finish on the 69 of Glenn Lison. He is leading the AM class and in 8th place overall. Points leader Anthony Hutchinson not in the field here tonight. 2nd place in the points in the pro class. Chris Hamilton not here in the field tonight as well. So certainly going to shake up the point standings after Imola here tonight. But we got some good battling going on. Trying to catch it there. Looked like it was between Herman Pineda and Frank Pisano. And looks like Devin Young off the track there as well. So maybe tuning in here right at the right time. But Carlin, we're joined in the booth by Jimmy Covert. Jimmy, we already talked about it, but let's talk about Imola again. I mean, I mentioned before the track has a bit of ease when it comes to getting off tracks. If you make a little mistake, you're going to find some kitty litter, some grass. You're not going to find the wall right away. But the two chicanes in the beginning there, Tamburella and Villeneuve, you got to stay off those turtles.
Yeah, definitely need to stay off those. And the car that I seen go off the track was Bryce Rayner. He's back on the track, obviously, but it was I just caught off on my triple monitor here and hopped out of the viewer's view that they can see on the screen right now. But he went for just a little ride, but you can see I seen him the dirt kick up, and he was able to catch it and get back on the track. Lost a position or two as he is now back in P number 12. And he was threatening to take over P10, I think. So lost a couple positions there, and then obviously Devin Young a little bit off track. You're going to see that coming out of that corner right there where we're at right now, and it's hard to judge sometimes when the tires start going. If you don't hit that corner just right, you can find yourself off in the kitty litter. Worse yet, hitting the curb and going for a little bit of a ride down through the grass. But either way, you should make it around here pretty easily. Everybody doing a fantastic job. No real tight battles, with the exception of like P number 10. Yeah, with Cesar Colon Torres there, and another Wonder Machine on his tail.
A couple battles here and there throughout the field. Jay Little back here trying to reel in. William Burrell. It looks like quite a few more McLarens out here in the field here tonight. As McLaren and Porsche kind of dominant out here tonight, but the Fords are at the top of the field for the pro class, and it's Craig Jansik in the Ford, and then the top 2 in the AM class, Glenn Lison and Cesar Colon Torres, both in the Ford Mustang here tonight. I don't know. To me, Imola, I'm not sure really what kind of car would fit well. I know there's a lot of Porsches out there. I mean, you kind of have to worry about the Porsche through the first sector as you're going through the two chicanes, Tamburella and Villeneuve, but they're not necessarily quick left-right chicanes. I mean, Tamburella is a little bit tighter, but there's a little bit of a gap in between the corners that allows the Porsche to kind of roll to the left and then slowly kind of roll back to the right. I think it gives it a little bit of an opportunity to kind of settle that weight shift down, which is always kind of the big bugaboo with the Porsche. So, I mean, not necessarily a bad car to pick out here tonight, but Jimmy, if you had your choice of cars out here, what do you think would be kind of the best fit for Imola?
Well, I'm a big old McLaren fan for one, but I did have the Ford out here, and the Ford likes the curves. I don't really have any problems. Like if you hit it, it kind of eats them, so it's like they're almost not there. So I don't know if it's just the suspension on that newer car or what, but it doesn't seem to do a horrible job when you actually. Oop, and there goes somebody. It's Reiner again, I think. Yep.
Yeah, that was Reiner getting a little boot here as he was battling with Ortiz Torres through Acura Rally, and now comes back on the track in the Lambo, heading down to Variante Alta. This is kind of the tight chicane that you need to worry about, kind of rolling back and forth, but you almost really want that Porsche to quickly roll back there so you can straighten out coming out of the chicane. Yeah, I mean, I feel like this is a track where you can just kind of get in the car that feels right for you. I mean, I feel like just about any car could work out here. BMW, the Ferrari, I think just about anything can really work out because it's got a little bit of everything, and there's nothing that's too crazy that will upset you. But it's again, it's a track that you need to run laps. You need to understand the ins and outs here because there's a lot of time to be gained or lost very quickly through a lot of these sections. I mean, even the two chicanes here in the first sector, there's a lot of time that can be gained and lost because you want to get just a little bit on those curbs. You want to get on the red and white rumble strips there. You want to use it up to help you turn. As what a nice dive into the inside there from Devin Young trying to make the pass of Glenn Lison. Still side by side heading up towards Tamburello, but again, you can't go too far onto that curb because you've got those turtles right there, and you hit one of those turtles, it's going to take a chunk out of your splitter. It's going to send you skyward, maybe both. But now they're going to battle down into Acura Minerale, and this is probably one of the toughest sections of the track. And you see right there, Lison decides to back out, and that's probably a good, safe move right there. And it's a situation maybe realizing that Devin Young, not his battle here tonight. It's another pro driver out there. His battle is going to be possibly coming up there pretty soon, though, as Cesar Colon Torres has cleared some of the other pro drivers, or maybe they cleared themselves on the way back. So now it is 8th through 17th are all AM-class drivers, so that's where everyone is kind of filing in there. The top 7 spots held by the pro class. Closest battles on the track, we got a battle up here between Herbert Pineda in 5th, and Frank Bassano started up there in 2nd place, but has fallen back since the start of this race. And then back a little bit further in the field still, Jay Little trying to hunt down Wayne Burrell here for 12th and 13th. A few drivers taking an early pit stop here. Cesar Colon Torres, Christian Ortiz Torres, Bryce Reiner, Jim Herrick, Trent Blaylock, and Todd Torville all taking early pit stops here tonight to try and go all the way to the end.
Yeah, and that's the difference. I mean, obviously with CSRL, I kind of like that they start off at 50%, which forces them to come in the pits. But if you have something happen early, or at least not the very first lap, usually you can come in and get enough fuel, like top your tank off, and get a fast repair and get back out there and still be not out of the race, basically. So you're basically, it's like a free mulligan, but most times it's not used very often. Like I said, the drivers here just you just watch them battling back and forth and giving each other room, and just like the battle you've seen here with Lison here earlier with Devin Young, it just letting off, basically knowing that even though he wants that position, get past Devin Young, his battle's not with Devin. It's with Cesar Torres that's right behind him. So it's also, just keep control of the big picture, know your competitors and who you need to race for points, and as we work towards our way here to the end of the season.
Yeah, and Cesar Colon Torres certainly putting in some fast laps here, trying to catch up to Glenn Lison. As soon as Glenn was past, the distance between him and Torres was 2 seconds. It's already down to 1 as he's eating chunks of time into the distance between him and first place and the AM class, and maybe it's a little bit of Lison now getting held up a little bit by Devin Young at the front of the field. Looks like Jay Little finally making the pass here on Wayne Burrell in the back here as he makes his way up into 12th position currently. And we are past a third of the way through this race. Again, we see a couple of drivers already coming in to the pits, but the top 16 right now still have yet to come in. Actually, top 17. I want to thank everybody out there for tuning in here tonight. Given that, so you hit that like and subscribe, get you in touch with everything that we have to offer here at CRN. We'll bring we'll bring in Jim Herrick after the race to kind of discuss some of the new things that he's taken on and putting on his plate and doing kind of along the lines of a 40 Racewear, but certainly nothing like the racing gloves for your feet. It's some new projects that it's going to be on offer for maybe certainly for CSRL here, as it's already being done, and for some outsider leagues as well. So tune in post race for that, as we'll bring him in here right after the race and get a chat with him one more time. We've already heard the spiel, but you guys didn't, obviously, with the broadcast not working out here. Great. Jansik is still in the lead. He's got a 1.7 second lead over Tyler Torville. Exactly, a practice run. Tyler Torville in second. Dan Herrera right behind him in third, not letting him go at the front. As we got Ford, Lambo, McLaren for your top three. And then over here in the M class, it's tight. It is Ford versus Ford right now. Lison in the mirror finish. And then pretty much the exact opposite. The all-black car there is Cesar Colon Torres, as he's trying to get up there and make a move on Lison and try and take over the top spot in the M class. But we've seen before here at CSRL, and I think, Jimmy, you experienced it a little bit too. Lison is not exactly the easiest guy to get around. You can catch him, there's plenty of times you can catch him, but passing him is just a totally different animal.
Well, it comes down to not only his driving style, obviously being able to hold his line and doesn't let the car behind him bluster him too much. And it also goes on the drivers trying to pass him. Like I said, the drivers have respect for each other, so they're not trying to get into the rear end. They're not trying to cause accidents. They're not trying to ruin somebody's race. They're trying to make passes on their competitors cleanly as possible. We've seen some later dives, but nothing that the other driver probably wasn't aware of that they were going to do or attempt or whatnot. Or we've seen a driver get loose and just let the guy go by, but that's right behind him. So, not to cause an incident. I mean, the incident was caused when they were out the road, but, I'm talking about getting into each other. So it's too much respect on the track right now. So I speak very highly of CSRL and their capabilities of running as a road team, league, I should say, and putting on a great show for the fans out there to watch. As you see some dirt kicked up in the air. Somebody found that kitty litter.
Good battle right here. Again, this is for 8th and 9th top spot in the M class, but looks like Frank Pisano in a battle himself and going to get passed by Devin Young, as Young is trying to work his way back up. Started up there in 5th place, dropped back, had some incidents early on, but he is now back up into 6th place. Frank Pisano's fall continues here. He's now down 5 positions, down into 7th position. Biggest mover of the race to tied for 7, as Cesar Colon Torres up 7 spots, starting from 16th. He's now up to 9th. And then Ian Southern started back there in 23rd. He is up to 16th. Obviously helped out a little bit by some of the guys that came into the pits early, but he is right behind Stephen Price here as they battle for 15th position. But at the front, it is Craig Jansik putting down a heater this last lap of 142.49, about a half a second faster than everybody else on the track. Go ahead and hop on board here and take a ride around Imola with Craig, as going past Barney in the flag stand up there. Long straightaway from, I guess, curved straightaway from the final corner all the way down here into the first chicane at Tamburello. You want to try and get a little bit of curb to get you through here to help the car rotate, but again, you got to stay off those turtles. A little bit faster chicane now as you come up to Villeneuve, braking a little bit here at the 50 marker, shifting down once, then grabbing another gear, exiting out of Villeneuve and heading down into Casa. Tight little hairpin here, and you want to try and slowly pick up the throttle and use all that exit curb on the outside to get you a good run all the way up the hill as it takes you into Piratella. And this curve, it's not, I don't think it's off camera, but it always feels like it's off camera, just the way you kind of handled through there, and then sending it down the hill into Acqua Minerale, and a tough little section of the track right there, but you can use a lot of curb, especially on the exit there, to send you down the backstretch here to Variante Alta. Take a lot of curb on the entry. You can take some big curb on the inside there on the exit as well. Let the car drift out to try and really maximize your speed all the way, again, down the hill, heading into Orvatza. Double left-hand corner here, you can take some curb on the inside, let it drift all the way out to really set you up for a good exit to the fastest and longest part of this track right here, and that is your lap around Imola.
Yeah, definitely a lot of fun. Obviously, that downhill double right hand where you got that off there, that a lot of off track that you can use. You can go down through there faster than what you would think. You come down that hill at a pretty good speed and lift just a little bit. As soon as that nose points in the right direction, you're on it, and that's why you're using so much track on the exit to go up that hill into that tight little chicane, which is a very troublesome spot. Obviously, it's a quick right left, and you can take a good chunk of curb, but not too much, or you're gonna slow down. So you gotta be careful or ruin your car or send you for a ride even less. So definitely, I like the challenge of a lot of these corners, and the altitude change is always stems some greater difficulty, especially when slowing down and you're going downhill. It can cause problems for some drivers, but it's definitely one that helps hone the skills here on iRacing, and I let these drivers have a lot of fun here tonight. So quickly, as we started this race, and obviously started a little bit late, technical difficulties, and we'll get fill you back in with what's up with 4D Racewear. So they got some fantastic news, and I'm sure we'll let Jim we'll let Herrick take Jim Herrick take those kudos there, because he deserves it. He does a good job out here, just driving around for 4D Racewear, and him and then a few others obviously sporting that nice paint job that they got on their cars. So not doing too bad here tonight. He's back in P16, good respectable spot. So hopefully we're looking to move a little forward, as obviously some drivers pit a little early, some pit a little late, or won't pit till later, till they're almost out of fuel. So we'll see how this thing ends, but we're almost to the halfway mark, so I'm sure maybe some people are thinking about coming in and topping off with the rest of their fuel that they do for this.
Yeah, Herrick, one of those drivers that pit early on in the race, been on lap number 4, so we'll see where he kind of shifts out once all the pitting is done. Looks like big issue here for Frank Pisano, as, man, a second place start here for Pisano. Looked like it was going to be a great race for him. A little bit too wide, and then trying to get it back onto the track, and I don't think the tires were too cleaned off there, but maybe that wasn't where it happened. Looks like he got it back under control right there. You're battling it with Herbert Pineda, so okay, that wasn't exactly where things completely went wrong for Pisano. Let's take a look here. And right there, under braking, already getting loose. Gets sideways into the kitty litter and goes into the wall and ends up towing back into the pits.
Yeah, it looked like he took a little bit too much curb there on the left-hand side, kicking that rear end around as it got on the throttle. So tough break for Frank. Definitely, we were kind of looking forward to seeing if Frank would get a great finish there. Obviously, starting on the outside there on the front row here early, but right now it's still Craig Jansik out front, and Tyler Torville in second, there there in third. Pineda just went in the pits. So obviously the call there moves Billy Wright into P4 and Devin Young up in the 5th. So Devin on the comeback side, you can see Glenn Zone, your AM leader in the pits right now as well.
Yeah, so we'll keep an eye here on Cesar Colon Torres and see where Glenn Lison comes out if he's going to retain the lead or not here in the AM class. Colon Torres already making his pit stop on lap number 12, so trying a bit of a short pit here on Glenn Lison. We'll see if it works out. For some reason, it's actually showing Lison all the way up in the lead for me. But there we go. Now it's shifting back down in the correct spot as Lison is working his way out of pit lane as Cesar Colon Torres comes around. Going to be very close with a short pit. Works out wonders here for Cesar Colon Torres. He makes the pass and moves himself up there into 9th place overall, but more importantly, top spot here in the AM class. He a little too excited to think the leader goes off and the inhibitor a little bit, but back under control. A little bit of an issue here for Todd Torville. Let's see what happened here to the 911. How they catch the grass here a little bit. And then just, I think the tires were just a little bit too dirty. But, I mean, that, to me, Jimmy, that was executed pretty well right there. That was a pretty well executed donut getting back pointed the right way.
Showboating. I mean, he's just having a great run there. And, you know, we don't talk about these cars and their cold tires as much as some of the other cars that are out there. And obviously, GTP sticks out the most as they made huge changes to the tires for the GTP cars, which is a few levels up from these cars. And, you know, essentially the GTP's first lap is no faster than the GT3s. They have to take corners 2 gears lower and be very careful so they get heated on. LP2, that's my biggest enemy when it comes down to the LP2 is the cold tire phase. You know, if I can manage to get a lap and a half in or 2 laps depending on the track, I'm usually good to go to the end. So definitely interesting here. But yeah, these two still battling here, Carl. Like, as Cesar Torres is still right there in front of was on, but as the pit cycles continue, you see that you gotta watch people come out pits. Oh no, not Dan Barrera.
This was Dan Barrera early on. He's still in 3rd place and trying to hold on as we'll go back live here and show you that he's in 3rd at the front end. Certainly a little worse for wear, but we'll take you back here as Cesar Colon Torres now stretching back out here after he got around some lap traffic and it looked like Lison had a little bit of issues going through Tamburello, catching some of the turtles out there. But good race so far as we're coming up on 30 minutes in, so we'll have 15 minutes plus a lap to go here at Imola. Looks like Dan Barrera, I thought he was going to be in the pits there, I guess not. He is dropping. Looks like dropping completely out. So, not sure what happened here, but he is dropping through the leaderboards. Not sure if he kind of throughput or what the case is. Greg Jansik finally making his pit stop and coming out right now with a sizable lead over Tyler Torville. You see him just cross the line right now, so about a half a straightaway lead on Torville. Bit of an easier walk in the park here for Greg Jansik here tonight, as Reiner having his issues way back there in second last right now. It looks like he has retired the car, and his other competitor, Chris Hamilton, not in attendance here tonight, so falls down to an 8-second lead now over Tyler Torville, but it gives us an opportunity to maybe talk to some new guys. We haven't talked to Tyler here in a little bit, currently running in 2nd. Herbert Pineda right now running in 3rd, but Billy Wright and Devin Young both hot on his heels, and Devin Young to the inside here to make a nice move as the Canadian up another spot now. Not only has he gained his starting spot of 5th back, he's up to 4th.
Yeah, definitely on the move, and maybe a little bit of assistance from some of the drivers that have dropped out or have had their mistakes here. But you know, as the race goes, you know, it's not just one good lap. You know, it's the whole time session. Obviously, they need to put into have a great finish, and sometimes you get out there and, you know, it could be an early race thing and you make a mistake and then you're just kind of trying to make up for it, or if it's you just finally find your groove after you finally get kind of warmed up. But we're 31 minutes in, so these drivers should be plenty warmed up. There's some obviously looking for the battles and looking down to that inside, but not diving in there on the 99. So Herrick is going to have his hands full, I'm sure, as he's going to push that issue there to take that spot away.
Yeah, it looked like Young wasn't going to make the move, and all of a sudden he broke a little bit later, so he thought about it, and I think Pineda gave him a little bit of room just in case. But down the front stretch here, you see Billy Wright. Maybe knows he's on TV right now, flashing the lights all the way down the front stretch. let us know he's there. He's maybe trying to fluster these two guys in front to get up in a battle as Devin Young tries to go around the outside on the exit. Desperate to try and make a move and get up here on to the podium and maybe try and run down Tyler Torville before this thing is over. Definitely a good-sized gap in between Pineda and Torville, but certainly looking to try and move himself up into third place and, more importantly, get a chance to come up here and talk to us after the race. Down in the AM class, we got a battle for second now as Jim Dunton has reeled in Lison. Cesar Colon Torres not too far up the road as well. So the top three right now in the M class covered by 1.5 seconds.
Yeah, it's great racing by all the drivers. And for Jim to catch up to Glenn. And Glenn was running good, but maybe the Ford's starting to show little signs of wear and tear as the majority of the drivers, when they come in and they take their pit stop, it's usually the fast repair. And top off of gas and try not to take that extra time for tires. And I think they're in there long enough, just depending on how many gallons they do, because it's not much. I don't think, almost a half a tank. So they should be able to change 2 tires if they needed to without staying anything extra in there. You can see nothing going on the outside on the lap cars. So, but try to do his best to get up front and just put that Porsche back up there in that top 3 for the M-Class again.
Good battle here, looking back from Cesar Colon Torres back at the 69 of Glenn Lison, and then you see that pick Porsche there of Jim Dunton, the top 3 right here in the M-Class. They're all running pretty well. Colon Torres is only 1 spot away from the top 5. If he can figure out a way to reel in 6.5 seconds up to Billy Wright, it'd be a heck of a finish. Already up 10 spots, starting back there in 16th, and he's up into 6th place right now. So doing exactly what he needs to do. Again, Anthony Hutchinson not here tonight, so he's not going to gain any points. I'm pretty sure Hutchinson already has used his drop race as a 0. So maybe Colon Torres can start scratching his way back up here. You never know how the last race of this season play out. As you got, again, Imola here tonight. We stay in Italy for next week, and it is going to be Monza. And then we will head for the 2-hour season finale when we go to Mosport. And that is certainly a fun track, a lot of undulation there. And some kind of the same ideas as Imola, some of the same kind of turns. You got Ravazza here, you got the double right-hander at Mosport, but looking to the left-hand side here, Glenn Lison is hungry to try and get back up to that top spot here in the AM class. He's not going to let Colon Torres just walk away from this. Jim Dunton now starting to fall back here a little bit, and maybe it's by design. Maybe he's trying to let these guys battle as Torres looks like he's going over there to try and protect the inside line. Now switches back to the other side, which is trying to break the draft, heading into the first chicane here of Tamburello, and he's going to hold on to the spot for the time being. But this thing is certainly heating up here towards the end as we are down to 9 minutes left in the race.
And it's remaining a few battles, important battles. Obviously, the top 3 of the AM class battling out here as they are nose to tail. But anything can happen, but they gotta be careful because back there in Brandon Potts, he's a little ways back, obviously, but definitely in a predicament if they were to kind of get tangled in to, find themselves sitting on a podium here if they're not careful. So, but up front, it is Jansik kind of just having a fun night here tonight to get around the track. With Torville obviously in a world of his own as well. And here we're getting back there at P number 3, and then the battle for P number 4.
Oh! Big move there as Devin Young and Herbert Pineda come together. It's going to move Billy Wright up into 3rd as Pineda looking to try and work his way back on the track. We'll take a look at that here one more time. And it looked like Devin Young was over there to the side, and maybe Pineda didn't realize he was there. Maybe he was trying to cut over there and hold the position, but ends up doing damage to both cars, heavy damage to the 99, and certainly some damage to Devin Young as well, as he's going to bring the 15 into the pits. It's going to move Billy Wright now up to 3rd place. So the Brit says thank you very much, and move himself right up there. I mean, he's got the right number on his car, Jimmy. I mean, he is the number 18 out there. He deserves to be up there in the top 3. Come on, buddy.
Oh, my goodness. I mean, we might as well be Billy because we know you can't get up there in the top 3.
I could change his name right now and just make him Carl Handwerk, and all of a sudden I'm up in the top 3.
No, it's always good to see Billy out there, get a chance to get out.
That's what happens. See, Jimmy starts choking on his words.
But no, to see good to see Billy out there. Obviously, getting the opportunity, and right spot, right time. Sometimes a little bit goes a long way, and it's getting down towards the end of the race. So find himself sitting in P3 comfortably now, as Devin Young and Torres have fallen back to 8th and 10th respectively. But that leaves Cesar Torres up there now, up in P number 4 for the AM class.
Yeah, clearly Pineda is hurting right now as Colon Torres comes right up on the backside of him, and he's going to make the pass. It looks like down into Ravazza here pretty easily. That 99 is definitely hurting for speed and or handling. And we'll see how quickly Lison can get around as well. There's a chance for Colon Torres to maybe stretch out here and get away from the draft, but right away, Herbert Pineda is going to bring that 99 into pit lane. But Jim Dunton, right there. Dunton is hunting.
This is the first time we've had the top 3 in Pro, 1, 2, 3, and the AM are 4, 5, 6.
I mean, I think it's the first time that we've had an AM inside the top 5 as well all season. I mean, I know Hutchinson threatened a few times. I'm not sure if he ever got into the top 5, but we got 2 AMs in the top 5 right now. Imola is kind of biting back a little bit, and the driver's getting a little bit feisty out here, I think, as well. So maybe it's the cloud cover. Maybe it's blighting them more than we realize. Maybe it's coming to the end of the season. You only got a couple races left. Either way,
fake rain.
It's bubbling.
It's fake rain. They said they were going to have maybe possible rain. There was a chance. This is one of the races during the season that had the opportunity to possibly rain, and it's why there's the cloud coverage and the fog. And I'm sure if I pull up on my side here, I think it'll have like everything, like the humidity and all that stuff. It's 30 HD and rising, and 100% humidity. So I mean, it's there. The opportunity is to rain, but precipitation does 0%. No rain clouds in the area. Not anytime soon, anyways. And with only 5 months to go, these drivers will finish this out on a dry track. So I think some of them were maybe expecting or hoping for a wet track. I know a lot of drivers don't like it, but it is a very big equalizer because obviously you got to drive a lot of times off the normal racing line. So a lot of these corners that they're taking now, they would be handling them different, braking earlier. Maybe instead of going down to the inside, there might be a puddle of water there, so they actually have to ride on the outside of that corner. So there's a lot of different areas of the track, depending on what track and where the water would lay and runoffs, and you got to be careful. So getting on curves at all when the track was wet is very slippery. Heck, even You've even seen like at Monza where the pit lane line is like the most slipperiest part of the track. So if they were on it and touched their brakes, you'd go for a ride. So I definitely see the wiper blade going as maybe it's a little bit of dirt out there. Some of these guys have made their trip through the kitty there one time too many here tonight.
Take a look here once again at the battle for the podium spots here in the M class. Cesar Colon Torres 4th overall, Lison 5th, and Jim Dunton 6th, but they're 1, 2, 3 in class. Right now it is Colon Torres. He's up now 12 spots from his starting position as he's up there in 4th place. Brandon Potts did a good job from the start as well. Started back there in 17th. He is now up 8 spots into 9th inside the top 10 we mentioned. Jim Herrick earlier made that early pit stop on lap number 4. He has now made himself up into the top 10. He is in 10th place right now in the 40 car. Not going to show him too long because more often than not, I show him just a little bit too long. Something happens to him.
He says,
he does.
Show my car.
Ian Wilson up here.
All that time. He's one of the sponsors. Show my car. I think
we showed Dan Brower. He's already back here in 20th. He had a rough race out here.
He already had it.
There's not much more he can drop right now. So we'll show Dan Brower also a 40 race where Bates came out there. But Brandon Potts, as we mentioned, up 8 spots. But also Ian Wilson is up 8 spots just outside the top 10. So good run here for Ian Wilson. But everyone out front is chasing 88 here once again. Craig Jansik looking to stamp another win here this season. And I mean, he's been a machine and looking for yet another championship here in CSRL and looking pretty handily like it's going to happen.
You know, he might not have been up there. Like, obviously, Bryce and Chris had the opportunity to basically run away without Craig last week, and now this week Bryce had troubles on the track and Chris couldn't make it. So here we got Craig just running away with it. Just role reversal, Carl. I mean, obviously it goes around, comes around. So, and it's just the nature of racing. You know, some people have bad races, and some people, you know, and some people can't make it because of real life commitments. I mean, it just happens, you know. And this is, like I said, this is fun. But don't get it twisted. These drivers, they have fun here. They love to race each other. They're competitive, competitive as anything can be out here, and it's fun to watch. Like I said, I continue to watch these drivers as long as they'll have CRN on board, and even if they decided to. They don't decide to go with somebody else, I'd probably still watch them. Just the quality of racing that CSRL brings is by far some of the best out there.
Well, we are getting down to the end of this one as we're 30 seconds away, and this probably is the white flag here. We'll try and take a look at the front stretch and see if Barney is actually already waving the white flag. Let's see if there's somebody going by that we can picture. Yeah, the white flag is in the air. So Craig Jansik coming around for this final time, looking to get the win. Cesar Colon Torres trying to hold off the battle here for one last time. They'll head up the hill here into Piratella, and just keep it on the track is really what Colon Torres is worried about right now. Acura Rally right here, and not exactly the easy section of the track. Keep it off of those big old sausage curbs. Use up the exit as he does there very nicely. He's still got a nice size gap, trying to break the draft down the backstretch here to Variante Alta. One last time. Gets those curves nicely, gets good traction coming out. Looking very good. Just got 2 more corners to navigate down here at the bottom at Ravazza. And he'll be looking at not only top spot here in the M class, but a top 5 overall as well. Lison looks like he's done everything he could to try and get back up there. A little bobble coming off the corner, but it's going to be enough as Cesar Colon Torres is going to get the top spot here in the M class, going all the way to the outside there. Lison in second, Jim Dunton right there in third. The top 3 in the M class separated by 0.6 of a second. You'd love to see that. Craig Jansik obviously getting the win. Tyler Torville, Billy Wright for the top 3 in the pro class. But this was a fun one out here tonight, and we'll keep an eye here on Jim Herrick, and now as he crossed the finish line, we'll try and get him in here, and go through his whole spiel here once again. And
we'll grab him first. Just grab him.
Exactly. We'll just whether he realizes it or not, we're just going to bring him back in here. Well,
They'd be like, why am I in the booth?
Once again, want to thank everyone for tuning in here tonight. Hit that like, subscribe, and get you in touch with everything that CRN has to offer. Want to thank our sponsors here tonight, and obviously we're going to bring in Jim Herrick here in a second, but 40 Racewear, makers of the ultimate sim racing shoes and custom apparel designed for sim racing by sim racers. 40 Racewear, 40 racing shoes, custom engineered to connect the pedals in a way no other racing shoe can, while still providing the comfort needed for those double and triple stints. Visit 40racewear.com and check out the latest sim racing products, including the original racing gloves for your feet. Martin PC, they are focused on providing high-quality PCs, rigs, and components at an affordable price. Your investment in sim racing is exactly the same as racing with an actual car. They take that same methodology at Martin. From the engine PC to the chassis rig, pedals, wheels, and shifter, you deserve components and that match your desire to compete. Great run out here tonight. Again, we're going to try and bring in Jim Herrick. We'll try and sneak him in here, as wouldn't let me drag him all the way here to the bottom, but we're going to go ahead now and bring in Jim Herrick, driver of the 40. Jim, we had some technical difficulties at the beginning of this race, so everything that you said, nobody heard anything at all at the beginning of this race. So once again, we're going to bring in the man behind the curtain here for 40 Racewear, but not just the sim racing shoes for your feet anymore. He's got some more products that he's looking to work on, unveil, and another labor of love here for Jim. So Jim, why don't you go ahead and talk to us about what you've been working on?
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, we just wanted to announce some new things coming up for 4D. I know I've talked a lot about that we got new stuff coming. It's taken me a long time to get it sorted, but this is one thing we've just about got ready, and we're going to start doing some custom trophies, sim racing and racing themed in general trophies. It just seemed to be kind of a lack of options out there, and so we decided that we would try and fill that void a little bit with some new products that we're going to offer. And as part of our deal with CSRL, we're going to provide trophies for the pro and amateur class champions for this season. Hopefully you can see them there on the broadcast now, and
yep.
And we'll also be doing some other things from the more affordable trophies that leagues can give out, that aren't gonna raise entry fees too much, and all the way up to some fancier high-end championship rings. I don't know if there's a picture there that has a couple things, and you can see it. It's kind of small, but that's the one that we're doing for the Hoosier 500. It's one of the big open setup Indy 500 races coming up in December, and yeah, we're going to have some other things. We're going to have some plaques made out of Jabrock. You guys know Jabrock's the stuff made that they use on the bottom, the skid plates of your high downforce cars, and on the bottom of the splitters of the GT3s. And it's a unique looking kind of pressed wood, and we're going to try and make some unique plaques and trophies out of those, and and offer the lighted plexiglass engraved trophies. Those will be completely customized. You can send your league logo, basically any type of file you want to put on there. We can engrave it. We can put the championship winning driver's car and their signature will be on the trophy also for the GT3 series this year.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty awesome, and I know you got enough on your plate as is, but it seems like you're always kind of looking to go above and beyond, and looking to put some new stuff out there. And I agree with you. I mean, as a league owner myself, I know looking for customizable things, it's not exactly easy. I mean, I think we settled on we found, I think, through Amazon a little bit. There were some custom rings that you can get, but even those they're just they're good and they serve a purpose, but they're from a company that really, you could customize that ring to say anything. There's really not that much out there for racing, as you said before, and to have somebody that is in racing and especially in iRacing and the leagues like that to be able to put some of this stuff out there and make it an option for other leagues and owners. I think it's a pretty cool idea.
Yeah, we're looking to to make them special by doing customizations for the league. So you'd be able to set up your league logo with us, and then we'll be able to knock out trophies season after season for you at a reasonable price. And we're looking to have some rings that'll be available kind of over the counter, some more general, like IndyCar winner rings, GT class winner rings that'll represent like the series class, and they'll have a top that's specific to, or specific to the class or a track like Daytona, because there'll be a lot of Daytona 500s, and but you'll still be able to put customize the sides of the ring, so you'll be able to put your driver's name, their number, the name of the league, and that type of stuff on the side of the ring. So and those will be hopefully a little more affordable, but we're also going to do fully customized ones like for the Hoosier 500, where you can have basically make the top say anything you want. You can choose the stones that are on it, the shape, the logo, anything you want. So hoping to just kind of hit that market of customized trophies for sim racing, and hopefully people like them.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I certainly like him, and I'm sure I'll be in touch with everything that we got going on over there. So I want to thank you for everything that you do out there, for the iRace community in general, but even here for CSRL just by itself. But before we let you go, get out of here and celebrate a top 10 here tonight. So okay, I guess first of all, congrats on the comeback here. I know you made an early pit stop, but on your way back up to top 10 overall. So congrats on the run out here. Who you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Yeah, give you guys a quick shout out for doing the broadcasts. I always love watching those, and to the admins here on the league. One other quick shout out I want to make is to the Sim Gaming Expo. A lot of the new stuff that we're working on this summer, we're hoping to reveal there at the Sim Gaming Expo in Chicago. It's going to be at the Schaumburg Convention Center, September 5th through the 7th. And it'll cover all different genres of sim gaming, not just sim racing, but flight simulators, farm simulators, and I can't even list all the different things, but war simulators. Yeah, they're all going to be there. It should be a really interesting event. 4D Racewear is gonna have a booth there exhibiting, and we have a promo code. So if you want to attend the event, we can get you 10% off on your admission ticket to get in there. So hopefully you guys can, everybody can come out there and check out the event. It's going to be a lot of fun, and meet up with us, and hopefully I'll get to meet a lot of the sim racing community there.
Absolutely, buddy. And if anyone out there wants to get that 10% off admission, the code is 4DR10. So go ahead and check that out. You get 10% off the entry fee there, and get out there and meet Jim. And then see all the awesome products that he's got going out there. Jim, want to thank you again for stopping in here in the booth. Congrats again on the top 10, and hopefully we'll see you in the next couple of weeks, and maybe get to talk to you with a top 3 yet before the end of this season.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Sorry, I'm a little flustered, a little winded here after that race. That was quite a race. So
understandably.
Yeah. So thanks a lot for having me back in here to talk about the trophies and the Sim Gaming Expo, and yeah, I look forward to getting back up on the podium soon.
All right, buddy. Thanks again for stopping in here. That is the driver of the 40, but more importantly, the man behind 40 Racewear, the ultimate sim racing products here. I mean, and he's got just more and more products coming out left and right. I mean, the trophies, the rings. I think that's awesome, and I think it's definitely a niche that can be handled. And you see the products that he puts out there. It's not just little tinker toys. I mean, he actually puts some time into it, and doesn't really, even want to reveal or put anything out there until he feels it kind of meets his standards. And I think it's the right way to do it, and it's awesome. But let's get to our finishers here tonight in the top 3. We'll go ahead and start with our 3rd place finisher here tonight in the Pro class. And maybe a bit of a gift, but you have to be there to accept the gift. And Billy, you come home here in 3rd place here tonight. You were right there behind the battle between Devin Young and Herbert Pineda. They make a little contact, and you just went on by and say thank you very much.
Yeah, hello. Yeah, they should have definitely finished ahead of me, and also Dan Morena should have finished ahead of me as well.
Well, listen, I mean, at the end of the day, it's you just, like I said, you got to be there to capitalize, and you kept that thing on the track. I was kind of joking to my co-commentator Jimmy here. Every time I took a look over at practice while I was getting everything set up here, I seen you in the wall. I seen you in the gravel traps. I mean, what were you just testing all your limits in practice, or what changed when it came to the race?
Just practice. just practice.
Well, either way, it worked out real nice here. You get yourself a podium here. Imola, it's not necessarily the toughest track. You can have some runoffs, and it's not going to kill you out here. But you guys dealt with a little bit of fog, not so much rain here tonight. But you come away with a great race.
I was hoping for the rain. That would have been fun.
I mean, naturally. I mean, from your neck of the woods, I'm sure you're used to any kind of rain events here. But want to send a congratulations to you again. A great run out here tonight, grabbing yourself a podium. Before we let you go and get out of here, who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Just to all the people that I raced with at Millennium Motorsports, and I just wish that they could have finished the race, especially Herb could have finished a lot higher with me. But no, thank you very much for having me. Much appreciated.
Absolutely, buddy. Congrats on the finish here tonight. We'll let you go and get out of here, and hopefully we'll get to talk to you again before the end of the season.
Hopefully. Thank you very much. See you later.
Driver of the number 18, Billy Wright, coming home in 3rd place in the Pro class. 2nd in the Pro class, and kind of just running his own little race here tonight, Jimmy, is going to be the 22 of Tyler Torville.
Hey, Tyler, Jimmy, Carlton, Booty Cappy.
How we doing?
Pretty good. It's been a little while since we talked to you, but you bring home a 2nd place podium finish here tonight in the Lamborghini, and there's one else. There's someone else out there, but that was with Bryce, and he was having some issues with it. But you did not seem to have those issues here tonight, and you were able to get yourself a good finish. We know it's a tall order to chase Craig Jansik around the track for 45 minutes, but you did one heck of a job. So give us a little rundown how your race was here tonight.
I mean, I was feeling fairly decent. Coming in here, I did the endurance race a few weeks ago here with the Lamborghini. So, I mean, I've had plenty of laps around this track. But these guys here, they're crazy fast. So I was not expecting to be here talking to you guys. It got to a point where after the pit, Dan actually beat me out of the pit. So I was like, well, that's a bummer. But, a podium's a podium. But he actually lost it, I think, maybe 2 or 3 turns later. And then I got back in 2nd, and I was just in my own little world. Greg was out in the distance, and 3rd was like 12 seconds behind me. So I was just running my laps for the rest of the race.
Sometimes that's a good thing. I mean, it makes the evening just a little bit easier, but you were able to hold a consistent lap time, and I think some people should take some notes on what you just said earlier when you said, I did an endurance event here the other week, and it's those extra laps in the cars that I think helps a lot of drivers out, and it might have been the key to your success here tonight, being able to put together a short 45 minutes, because we all know the endurance events are not just 45 minutes. I did a solo one just like the other weekend, and it was like 2 hours and 40 minutes or something like that. So it's a long time to be sitting in a car, but that you get that rhythm, that consistency, what you need to be competitive. So and it showed here tonight. So from CRN, obviously, we wanted to say congratulations and give you some time for any shouts you may have on that number 22.
I appreciate it. Just shout out to my wife, who I'm sure is not watching, my daughter, who is sleeping, my mom, who might be watching, my dad, who may have tuned in after the race finished, everyone over at Ace Motorsports, every driver here at CSRL. It's a great time racing here every single week. And obviously, thanks to you guys for putting on the show for us.
Anytime. We love putting on the show and sharing with the friends and family out there what you guys are doing out there and that you love to do. So again, congratulations on the second place finish here tonight, and we'll let you go celebrate with your friends and family.
All right, thanks guys.
Second place finisher here tonight. A bit of a lonely drive, but he comes home in second. Tyler Torville in the 22. Another man that was probably a little bit lonely out there tonight is going to be our winner, the 88 of Craig Jansik. Craig, you didn't have to deal with Chris here tonight. You had Bryce having some issues, some major issues here in the Lamborghini. I mean, I guess the first question is, did he not get the memo to maybe run the Ford here and not the Lamborghini? Because he certainly didn't qualify well, and then the race didn't exactly go well either. But the Ford worked out pretty well for you.
Yeah, Ford was beautiful for me. Thank you, boys. Yeah, he was honestly, he was a last minute attendee. We were all actually expecting him to not be able to make it based on his last comms with me, but he did get home just in time. And all the practice that he was doing, we were, I mean, with an 80% chance of precipitation here, we were all pretty banking, pretty much, God, easy for me to say. We were all banking on this pretty much being a washout race. So all the prep that we did was wet. And I don't know what really changed. I used to despise a front engine car with the rain, but something about the footwork here at Imola made the Mustang feel really nice even in the wet. So I was pretty gung-ho with that, but naturally, you know, what the general iRacer wants here is a mid-engine car. And, you know, he was just prepped for the Huracan, and, you know, iRacing's forecast, it does throw you for a curveball every now and then, and I think he was just kind of banking on there maybe being some late precip, and he would have been able to honestly have a pretty good run through the field in the Huracan. But none of that happened. It was dry. We left the umbrella in the airport. And yeah, it worked out really nice here tonight, man. This was a really smooth and comfortable win, and honestly, it feels really good to have some, you know, a kind of peaceful week after the just abysmal Sebring.
After not making lap 2 last week.
yeah,
exactly.
Chris and I talked. Everything's all good there. You know, no hard feelings.
You can say that all you want. I'm going to make
it
into a rivalry. I'm going to say that you guys hash it out, and then you guys hate each other now. So I mean, you do what you want.
April Fool's Day. Oh, sugar.
Yeah, no, it's a heated rivalry. It's you guys are totally mad
at each other's throats.
Exactly.
I'm working on a danger car paint for him instead of the safety car, and we'll
nice. I like it.
We'll get through that some other time.
Shots fired.
Yeah, no. The thing is, man, I never get to complete Sebring. We've ran it 4 times in this league, and the first time we had the session set up wrong, so I only got 1 lap of qualifying, so I started in the back. The second time I self-spun. The third time I didn't make it through corner 1, and then this last week. And Sebring's like one of my favorites on this whole sim. So it does hurt a little bit, but not at Chris. Not at Chris. That, you know,
say what you want.
ahead.
Say which one. I know what the agenda is. I got it. It's all about bringing in viewers, but being nicey nice, that doesn't bring in viewers.
That's true. That's true. I should be thinking more forward for you guys.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Well, either way, you had a heck of a run here tonight. I mean, you win this thing by 30 seconds, but I know as well as you, races like this, yeah, you still need to hit your marks and everything like that, but it also gives you a chance to kind of explore a little bit and try some different things. So, you know, I mentioned Imola is kind of easy in the sense that if you make a little mistake, you're just going to maybe run off into a kitty litter or a little bit of grass. There's not really walls to kind of grab you and destroy your car right away. But the main thing you got to look out for is the turtles through Tamburello and Villeneuve in the first couple of chicanes there. But what other kind of insights can you give to the racers out there about Imola that maybe you kind of found out here tonight?
Yeah, so the last time we were here, I figured out that this was a really easy track to save gas. And I spent the entire first run saving an entire extra lap just by keeping that 2-second gap. You can basically lift in advance for every single corner here and not sacrifice but a couple of tenths doing it. And that, I mean, it truly netted an entire lap at the end. I had to save a little tiny bit once we came out. just to make it right to the end with full push. And what would that be? So we pitted there. I saved for 1 lap after that, and then I pushed the remaining 6. So that would be my advice to the aspiring GT3 viewer out there. This is a place to practice fuel saving. It's very, very. It's a nice place to get the mental math of, okay, I can lift this far in advance, but that means that, the braking market that's usually at the 100, we'll lift at the 200. That means we can brake at the 75 in exchange for that, and you'll see the delta even out just about perfectly in just about every corner.
Well, you made it pretty easy and smooth here tonight, and I'm sure you're, like you said, you're happy about that after last week, after your main clear rival, Chris Hamilton, not in attendance here tonight. So you knew you were okay from somebody just blatantly taking you out like he did last week. Clearly intentional. But either way, good run out here tonight. You get yourself another win and one step closer to locking up that championship. Maybe a little bit early on again this season.
It was the best decision he ever made. Just saying.
Absolutely. But before we let you go and get out of here, who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to, or maybe call out?
Yeah. Let me pick up the phone and dial 1-800 Chris Hamilton sucks. No, I'm just kidding. Thanks to you guys at Core Racing Network. I love that we can have fun like this, not just in the poke fun sense, but also in the display of an awesome iRacing league, an awesome iRacing broadcasting service that you guys have created. So thanks, Jimmy. Thanks, Carl. Thanks, everybody in the background at Core. Really appreciate all of your efforts, and we at CSRL are just so delighted to be a part of it. Thanks to everybody that showed up here for participation tonight. Still pretty good numbers, even when you're expecting rain. I'll take 20 plus every day of the week. Thanks to Team Kanji Sim Performance, Digital Sim Sports, Studio 3, Martin PC, Mom, Dad, Aunt Sandy, Anna, Chris. Thank you guys for supporting my adventures here on the simulator. And we don't have to go far. We get a free week in Italy, boys. Do we want pasta? Do we want pizza? Do we want a little, like a little charcuterie board? What are we eating?
Yes.
If you're truly over in Italy, you should have the pizza from Italy. It's definitely a different brand than American pizza, and it's extremely good.
I look forward to that someday, man. And Monza's going to be a brawl next week. We know how these GT3s kind of draft, but not really, but enough to keep everybody involved. Should be an absolute scene.
Yeah, looking forward to it and see if you can go back to back here to get closer to that championship here tonight. Congrats again on the win. We'll let you go celebrate, and we'll see you next week at Monza.
Yeah, appreciate you guys. Take care.
That is your winner here tonight in the Pro Class, the 88 of Craig Jansik. And you heard it live. Craig hates Chris, clearly. So we'll go ahead and switch over to the AM Class now. Third place here tonight, Jimmy, is going to be the 83 of Jim Dunton.
Hey, Jim, it's Jimmy and Carl in the booth, and it's good to talk to you. And I was just talking to Carl earlier, right towards the end of the race. I'm like, this is the first time ever we've had first, second, third pro, and then fourth, fifth, and sixth, the AM drivers over everybody. This is awesome. And nothing against the pro drivers, but the AM drivers had the spotlight tonight. You guys put on one heck of a display here tonight between you and Glenn and Cesar Torres and all the others that were around here tonight. But what a finish. So close together. So from our point of view, obviously you were having the time of your life out there. Why don't you give us a rundown and maybe what you could have done to get around at 69 of Glenn or the 007 of Cesar?
I'm not sure that I have an answer. I've been staring at Glenn's ass for the last 2 races straight. Excuse my language. Honestly, my pit could have been a little bit better. I stopped just a little bit short of where they actually pick up and start refueling you. So that might have saved me a second. Other than that, it's just, I was giving it everything I had, and it was all I had to just keep up with them. they raced really, really well, and I was hoping that they would race just a little bit harder so I could, sneak up on them, but that didn't happen either. So I'm happy with third this race. Imola historically isn't a track for me that I do very well at, but I'm kind of glad it didn't rain either. I feel bad for the league as a whole because we promised rain and it didn't happen this season. So
Give me control. I'll make it rain.
Okay. All right.
All the rest of the race.
Yeah, I'll send over that password.
No, but you're chasing Glenn, but it takes a certain group of people to be able to race that close, like almost week in and week out. I talk about it in other broadcasts where like the middle field, or if you guys are more towards the front typically, or in the middle, is like the battlefield of any race, because everybody, that seems where it's like the biggest group of people that are really close in skill level, and you guys put on such a great show. It's not like you guys are taking each other out. You're not dive bombing. I mean, you see the little moves like the once, but never anything to take each other out on purpose. So it's just great to watch. It's a league that I don't know. I can't praise it enough. You can probably ask Carl. I probably talk about you guys too much sometimes, but I love watching you guys race. And like I said, if I could, I wouldn't be here. I'd be on the track. So anybody out there watching, you want some GT3 racing, you should look up, come over here to CSRL. But either way, Jim, we just wanted to say congratulations on that third place finish, and also give you a little bit of time for any shouts or anything else you need to put out there on that 83.
So first and foremost, shout out to you guys and Jim Herrick for putting on the broadcast and sponsoring. And I think Jim just announced that he's sending out some trophies for the winners for the classes. Yeah, Indeed. So that's really, really cool. I'm very glad that we're able to do that, and that it was him coming to us with the idea. It wasn't the other way around. So it wasn't on my radar, but yeah, it's cool to be able to run such a neat series, and we do preach, race close but race friendly. Just back to Jimmy's point. But yeah, thanks again, guys. That's kind of all the thanks I have for this week. Thank you.
I really appreciate it, and hopefully we'll see you next week as you guys are finishing up your season here. Before I'm sure you'll move on to something quickly therefore after. So again, congratulations on your third place finish, and we'll let you go celebrate with your friends and family.
Sounds good. Thank you very much. Have a good night, guys.
You too, sir.
Third place finisher here tonight in the AM class, 6th overall, the 83 of Jim Dunton. Second place in the AM class is going to be the 69 of Glenn Lison. Glenn, you had a heck of a run out here. You had a good qualifying effort to get you right up there in the mix of all the pro guys. And as it shuffled out, you're battling for 4th place overall and the top spot there with Cesar Colon Torres. Looks like he got you on the short pit, but you didn't let him get away. You guys had a heck of a battle all the way to the end.
Yeah, it was definitely pretty intense. I think it's kind of similar to last season where it's like I get more consistent towards the end and then make it a little bit more exciting. But I have no idea where my qualifying lap came from. It just kind of, I pulled a Verstappen or something. I don't know. That was crazy.
Sometimes it just happens. Sometimes you get across the line and there's a second or two that you don't know where it came from, and it worked out nice. I mean, you didn't really drop out of the top 10 all race. I mean, you were right there and had a good effort. Do you feel like, looking back, could you have done something differently? Could you have maybe pitted around the same time as Cesar? I mean, you only pit 2 laps later, but it seems like that maybe, or actually 3 laps later, but it seems like that was kind of the determining factor. He was able to get the short pit on you and just get out ahead of you.
I think I just need to take less fuel. That's probably going to be really the only way, I think, because I'm not consistently, he's a little bit more faster on a lap by lap basis, especially during the race. And then I think I still finished the race with 1 extra lap. So I probably could have taken half a lap less amount of fuel, and I may have been able to hold him off if I came out in ahead of the pits. But I don't know. It's hard enough just staying on the track at this place. So.
Well, you made a heck of an effort out here, and I mean, at the end of the day, like I said, you come home in second in the AM class, but you're up there in the top 5. I know some of the pro guys had some issues here tonight, but you didn't exactly have a slow car out there in the Ford. So, did maybe the qualifying effort give you a little extra boost and a little extra confidence going into the race?
Yeah, I think so. I think it definitely helped, kind of realizing I do have some speed, and I qualifying up so high.
Well, it worked out nicely for you. You come home in second place here again.
Hitting a curb. I hit a curb like so many times during practice, so luckily I didn't do that.
Had you cut out there for a second, but yeah, it's the curbs definitely seemed like they were the biggest thing that you need to avoid here. And I know when you were following Cesar close, the one time we were keeping an eye on you, he caught the turtles there in the first chicane in Tamburello, and there's just the turtles anywhere are something to avoid. But you kept the car at least under control after you hit him there, but you lost a little bit of time.
Yeah, I saw that. And I was like, ooh, maybe I could capitalize, but I just couldn't quite do it without really lunging at one of the turns. So I was like, I'd rather finish than not finish.
Well, it was a good finish as you finished with a top 5 overall and a good run out here tonight at Imola. And you guys got to avoid the rain at least. So congrats on the finish here tonight. Who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Yeah, thanks. Honestly, probably just a shout out to my dog for not completely ruining my race. She jumped in my lap a couple of times, but nice. Luckily she always tries to time it when I'm mid-turn or about to enter a turn. It's kind of frustrating, but it is what it is.
Oh, it's throttle control and dog control. They're hand in hand for sure. So, congrats again on the top 5 here tonight. We'll let you go celebrate, and we'll see you next week at Monza.
Thanks. Have a good one.
That is top 5 finisher here tonight. Second place in the AM class is 69 of Glenn Lison. Last but not least, we'll bring in our winner here tonight from the AM class in a 4th place overall, the 007 of Cesar Colon Torres.
Hey, Cesar, Jimmy, and Carlton, the copy.
Hey, how's it going, guys? We did it.
Yeah, you did it. You broke the top 5. You're almost you got the win overall in AM, but heck, you almost got on the podium without even getting being in the AM. So great run tonight. Great execution of your pit stop. It was enough to get by Glenn Lison back there, and that was probably to me was the winning decision here for the 007. But give us a little rundown on how it was out there. The top 3 there for the AM drivers. We're just putting on one heck of a battle here tonight.
Yeah, great racing from Jim and Glenn. Some awesome racing. My qualifying, I kept dropping the ball on every lap. I only got 1 lap in, and I kept watching the green Delta go and then hitting an off track every single time, and it sent me into the back of a little bit way back there. So while I had to start from the mid pack, my start was also horrendous. Ended up getting caught up in a 3 wide situation and got snagged up along Jim Herrick. Sent him to the wall, and I almost got sent to the wall with him. So it was just a little chaotic, and I apologize to Jim and everyone that was in that. But after that, it was just a hunt for everything that I could see, and I saw Glenn put an amazing qualifying time that I did not think we'd ever be able to catch up to. But over the stint, we got very lucky, and I think what really saved us, like you said, was that pit. And I think the only thing that I did different from everyone else was I took 2 Wright tires. And those Wrights were cooking up by the end, so I got very, very, I wouldn't say lucky. I think that strategy right there saved it all right there.
Yeah, me and Carl talk about it, and we know that you guys start out with not a full tank, and obviously that allows you have to pit sometime during the race. But if something were to happen early and you guys got you do have a fast repair, you're able to get that fast repair and fill up your tank, and then you might not be in that hunt through the majority of the race, but at the end you're there. But tonight the 007 was just, you were there. You talked about having a bad qualifying. You gained 12 positions tonight from the start.
I didn't even know.
If you didn't know how many spots you made up tonight, even after your bad start, you So if you fell back from the start, you finished 12 spots higher than what you started. So
Yeah.
just a fantastic job, fantastic run. It was great to watch you and Glenn and Jim all battle out. It's just a treat to watch everybody, and it's not, we don't have to look for the pro series drivers to see great racing. We see it in the AM as well, and it's fun, and it's glad that you guys are able to kind of group up around each other where you're pretty much the same skill level, and it makes for great racing week to week. So anyways, we wanted to say congratulations on the fantastic top 5 or top 4 overall, but the win obviously in the AM. So we'll also give you some time for any shouts you might have in at 007 here tonight.
Well, thank you guys, and I want to say first off, Jim wanted to say thank you to all the admins. He didn't get to say that as he backed out, so he wanted to say thank you to all the admins. I too want to say thank you to all of you guys, you on the stream, you guys handling the broadcast, everyone, my girlfriend, the team that was in the Discord, the people setting up CRN, everything. I mean CSRL and CRN. I mean, everything is awesome, and it's a treat to be a part of. Like you guys say, this racing's awesome, and I'm looking forward to next week.
Definitely looking forward to seeing what you can do out there with that 007. So again, congratulations, and we'll let you go celebrate with your friends and family.
Thanks, man. You guys have a good night.
You do, sir.
That is your winner here in the AM class, and also top 4 overall. And yeah, like you say, Jimmy, I mean, just missing out on an overall top 3, and they have to figure out what we would do if an AM class driver gets in the top 3. Do we just not interview a third finishing pro class driver? I mean, they didn't deserve it. They didn't finish. That's the punishment. That's I think what it is. They didn't deserve it. So I like it. Either way, heck of a run from CSRL here tonight. As Imola certainly had its challenges, not necessarily the weather, a little foggy out here, but no rain. The rain holds off. But next week we head over to Monza, the Speed Palace, and we'll get to see what the drivers do there for the penultimate race, as only 2 more races remain in season 12. It looks like both the championship may just about be locked up. We'll see how it works out in the M class now, with Cesar Colon Torres winning. Anthony Hutchinson not here tonight. We'll see if that closes it up enough to maybe make a battle here with the last couple races remaining. But you're going to have to tune in next week to find that out. Thanks again for tuning in. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe. Get you in touch with everything that CRN has to offer. For myself and Jimmy here from the Imola, we'll see you at the track.
Peace.